type of business should I form?
Hello, and thank you for asking ADAL. There are a number of different choices that you have with respect to forming a corporate entity. First, your choices include number 1, a sole proprietorship, number 2, a partnership, number 3, a corporation, number 4, a limited partnership, and number 5, a limited liability company. When you are acting as a sole proprietor or a sole proprietorship, you are telling the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, that you are acting as an individual that is doing business in some form or fashion. Many times, an individual will file an assumed name certificate. Some people call this a DBA, or doing business as, so that the state will recognize you as some type of company name, although you will be using your own social security number as the tax ID number for that business. The next type of entity is called a partnership or general partnership. A partnership may or may not need a formal state filing, in that when you form the entity, you tell the state that you are creating a partnership, and you may obtain a tax ID number for this entity. The individuals or entities within that partnership are then taxed accordingly. When we talk about corporations, there are two types, the S corporation or the C corporation. When revenue comes to a C corporation, the IRS taxes the C corporation for money coming into the company. After the money leaves the company to be distributed to either shareholders or to employees, those shareholders or employees are then taxed a second time by the IRS. Some people call this the principle of double taxation. Why would somebody want a C corporation? Well, because if you have more than 35 shareholders, you are required to become a C corporation. Also, if some of the shareholders are corporate entities, you are also required to be a C corporation. In contrast, an S corporation is a corporation wherein money comes to the entity, or funds are generated by the S corporation, and there are no taxes due until the money is distributed to the individuals or entities, or the individuals that comprise that S corporation. A limited partnership is actually two different entities in one, in the sense that a limited partnership has a general partner as well as limited partners. From the legal perspective, the limited partnership is ideal in the sense that all the liability is concentrated on the general partner, and the limited partners are free from the liability so long as they do not have an active participation in whatever incident caused the liability. Most limited partnerships are set up so that the general partner entity or individual only owns 1% or a small percentage of the limited partnership, so that in the event of a lawsuit, only that 1% is at risk. Finally, the limited liability company is a unique corporate entity in the sense that, depending on what you tell the Internal Revenue Service, you can be treated as a partnership, you can be treated as an S corporation, as a C corporation, or as what is known as a disregarded entity, which is almost like being a sole proprietor. The limited liability company is very easy to maintain, easy to form, and in my opinion, probably one of the most convenient when forming a new entity. What is perhaps the greatest advantage of a limited liability company is the ability to be able to be treated as either a partnership or a corporation or a disregarded entity. You may ask yourself, why would I want to form a corporate entity in the first place? Well, for one thing, if you are acting as an individual, you make your money, you get taxed on your money, and you get to spend what's left. If you are a corporate entity, you make your money, you spend your money, and then you get taxed on what's left. It's a completely different perspective on how you're able to use the cash that you make, and it is a great way to get the most out of the money that you make as a business. Finally, from a financial perspective, it is a lot easier to account for revenues if you have it compartmentalized in a corporate entity, so that you can keep track of revenue generated as well as the profits and losses of the company. Thank you for asking ADAL.